What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is erinbies. I'm a wife, a mom, a military veteran, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps. If you're brand new, what's up? If you've been here a while, I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all of the members. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, here are my social media handles. Today's going to be a little bit shorter of a video, but I was sent this video along with others, and I thought it was an interesting thing that we could talk about. I don't even know how to explain that. I wanted to react to this. So shout out to the person that sent this to me. I appreciate you guys so much. And if you would like to share something with me, a Zoom link or a video or a reel or something along those lines, the easiest way to do that is just to screen record it or download it. And then you can share it with my Google Drive. And the email for that is erin_bees@yahoo.com. And the reason that I say it's easier to share upload it to a Google Drive and then share it with me is because it helps me stay organized, because I get information from all different platforms and it can get overwhelming remembering who sent what. And yeah, so if you guys could do that, that would be incredible. I do appreciate all of the information, all of the DMs, and all of it. You guys are amazing and a very important part of the anti-MLM movement. Okay, let's get to today's video. This is a video that was posted publicly by the CEO of Pruvit. His name is Brian Underwood. I know the Clown Town has featured him. I'm not sure who else has, but it's an interesting video. He's talking about quiet quitting and how it relates to multi-level marketing, specifically Pruvit. This looks like it was probably something that he did on a company training or something like that through Zoom. The sound is horrific. Just want to prepare you guys for that now. And let's watch it together. Drop your commentary and yeah.
Didn't have this term 29 years ago, and it's called quiet quitting. I know some of you've heard of it. And I've really been thinking a lot about this. I read this big article on it. It's trending right now in the thought leader space, quiet quitting. And you can really relate it to whether it's corporately, like with employees. You can do it even in relationships. People quiet quit their relationships all the time. But if you don't have a level of consciousness and you don't know what to be aware of, then you can miss it. Have any of you had someone come in and they're balls to the wall, they're Mach 2 with their hair on fire, and then, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 6 weeks later, you don't hear from them. Maybe it's 3 months later, because no one wants to say I'm quitting. No one wants to say I quit. Why? Because that is looking in the mirror and saying I gave up, and we've all been programmed, quitters never win and winners never quit, right? So what people do instead is they see something worse than it is and they back out gradually. And for a lot of different reasons,
they see something worse than what it is and they back out quietly. That's very interesting, because I'm just wondering how many people in Pruvit have actually seen their most current income disclosure statement showing that the majority of people the median income for 2022 was $11, I believe. Something along those lines. $11, meaning that 50% of the company made $11 or $10 and some change for the year. So it's interesting that he's saying people see whatever it is that he's talking about. We know he's probably referring back to Pruvit, worse than what it is. What in the gaslighting is happening here?
It doesn't matter the reason, but I think it's important that if you're building your organization, you have to be aware there's a list of reasons. Like, what are reasons that someone could quietly quit? Well, maybe they get embarrassed because outside influence goes, oh, you're doing one of those things. So instead of calling you and saying, I can't do this, I quit, they just quit returning your call, for instance, right? What's another reason someone can quietly quit? They put a lot of effort in, but they aren't getting the results as fast as they want. So they feel like a failure. When someone feels like a failure, they don't want to admit it. So what do? They quietly quit. What is another reason someone can quietly quit? Well, maybe something's going on in their life and they're getting a lot of peer.
Okay, wait. First of all, they're not getting results as fast as they would like. How about any results for the people that join Pruvit or joined Pruvit to make extra income, and they're spending money every single month? They're ordering the new products, they're ordering the reboot, they're ordering all of the new stuff that's being thrown out, and they're not making any money. You're asking them to stick around longer because they're going to eventually get results, but your own income disclosure statement does not even back that up. This is fascinating.
Peer pressure out of their home, where maybe someone is saying you're taking too much time for that. I don't want you to do that. I want you to spend more time with the family. There's a million reasons. You could literally list them.
That's taking up too much time. You should spend more time with the family. That's almost like what the anti-MLM movement says about MLM. Originally, a lot of people are brought in to think that they can do this kind of, on the side in their free time. And then they're coached to show up. They're coached that, hey, you got to get on the Zoom. And when they stop showing up, that's when the pressure is put on from their leaders. Hey, I noticed you weren't on the Zoom. Is everything okay? He's probably going to talk about something like that. How can I support you in this? I noticed that you haven't been showing up or something like that. I know he's going to say something like that because he says that all the time.
But what I want you to understand is it all has a pattern, and the pattern is there's a shift in energy. Their pattern is they don't show up the way they used to. The pattern is their language becomes different. The way that they speak is different. They might say the same words, but there's a different level of energy.
Their language is different. It's giving... I don't even know how I want to word this. Their language is different, but that's exactly what we see typically when people join an MLM. They start talking like their leader because they're trying to duplicate what their leader did, the success that their leader had. And so when they stop talking like that, are y'all fascinated by this, or is it just me?
And some of it could just be they're distracted with life. But I think it's really important because this will happen in your organization and business. But I think that what's so important as leadership, as coaches, as bosses or significant others, is that when you start seeing these trends or these patterns, is you can do a pattern interrupt. And one of, here's a couple of strategies to do it. Number one is be present, be aware of your team. And why do I say that? Because there's all of these variables and these outside influences. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be successful pursuing this business, but they might need coaching and they might feel too embarrassed to say it. They might.
What? Distracted by life. You mean taking care of responsibilities, whether they work in a traditional job, have a family, have things that they have to take care of as an adult? That's a distraction? That's very interesting. And also, I find it really weird how he's trying to take this and give relationship advice. I find that really interesting.
Feel disempowered. I believe quiet quitting comes from a level of disempowerment. And you have the ability to go empower them. And I think the strategy is, number one, is you have to have interest in the people you're working with. And that's
also, why can't he sit still? It's alarming to me that he can't sit still and he's adjusting and fidgeting. And I get it. Sometimes we have a lot of energy. There's a number of things that could be going on. That feels, how do I want to word this? That feels odd to me for some reason. I don't know. I'm having trouble explaining what I'm thinking, but something feels off, maybe? I don't know how I want to word that.
Level of consciousness of reading people, reading the room. And once you become cognizant of that, ask people more how you can support them, and then give them examples. Hey, listen, I noticed you weren't showing up. How can I support you? It might even be supporting them in personal life, right? Like you just don't know what's going on. But the second thing is that make sure that you know their goals and where they are in the trajectory of the path of their goals. See, for a lot of people, if their goals are way far off and they don't think they're getting there, it's a level of disempowerment. But if you know their goals, then you have something to realign them with or realign their goals. Maybe they've accomplished their goals, because
If you know their goals, then and they're not achieving them, then you know how you can manipulate them back into going to work or getting on the Zoom or attending the training. Hey, this goal was important to you, right? It's still important to you, right? Okay, well, I'll see you on the next Zoom, or make sure you get that auto ship set up. Make sure that you're, reaching out to your family and friends. In my opinion, the only reason in most cases that people like this want to know their people's goals is so that they can keep them spending money longer in the company. Um, it's a manipulation tactic, in my opinion. I think it's the same kind of concept as where they say, "Well, tell me your why. What is your why? You should have a why that makes you cry." And that's kind of they've said that for quite some time, but it just feels like, well, if I'm starting a business, okay, we're gonna use some of the terms that they use. We know that it's not a business. We know that they're not a boss. We know that they don't own anything. They're a 1099 contracted employee, and they can be, terminated at any point. Anyways, I find it really interesting how he's trying to change the words and all of this to make it sound like, listen, you've got to coach your people. Well, if they're not reaching their goals, if you don't know their why, then you're not going to be able to manipulate them to staying longer, to attending the event, to ordering the new flavors of ketones, and so on and so forth. I just feel like those are manipulation tactics, in my opinion.
like those goals, you have to have a compelling future to tap into more of your potential, right? To work harder on your skill set so you can meet the challenges to hit a bigger level for your future, right? Or more of a compelling future. And then the third thing that you can do is really check in with their expectations. I think one of the reasons why people quietly quit is that the experience that they have is not meeting the expectations that they have. For some of
And why would that be? Oh, because they are brought in sometimes through a super vulnerable post that is oversharing. Sometimes that's going to include income claims, lifestyle claims, health claims. So they join expecting to have some results because that's what they were told in many cases. So then they join and they're like, wait a second, I thought this was something I could do kind of on my own, but now I'm being pressured to get on Zooms. Now I'm being pressured to order the new products. Now I'm being pressured to get to this event. Now I'm being pressured to spend all of this money. And I thought it was just something I was going to share my link with people, because that's a lot of times how it is presented.
them it's unrealistic expectations, for some of them it's too small of expectations, right? But I think it's really important that we check our expectations and check the people that we're working with's expectations. And so I think these are just a few tips or tools. And then, I think more importantly, it is caring, and it's making sure that you can also give them directive at the end of it. But getting them, plugged in again. We don't talk about that enough, but I think it's so important because what happens is if someone quietly quits and you have an expectation for them and they don't meet your expectation, them quietly quitting actually can send you into a state of paralysis or.
Oh my God. Getting them plugged in to more indoctrination, in my opinion, is what he's talking about. And then caring about people. I'm sorry. When you have an income disclosure statement and, quite frankly, a track record like this individual does, saying that you care about people, the actions are not lining up with that, especially things that have been shared with me behind the scenes about said individual. That's not what this video is about. But saying that you care about people when you know that the majority of people in multi-level marketing are losing money, that's not caring about people. Caring about people would be not allowing that to happen, not allowing people to go into debt, not allowing people to, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. We're going to save that for another time. I don't believe that this is somebody, as the CEO of a multi-level marketing company, in my opinion, that genuinely cares about other people. I think he cares that they're continuing to spend money. I think he cares that they're continuing to show up at the events. I think he cares that they're continuing to, buy the merch and stuff that they have at the event so that people can advertise for them. That's what I think he cares about.
Worst case scenario, get in your head, what did I do? And you start doubting yourself or doubting what's happening. But remember, like, quitting's the easiest thing to do, but people just don't raise their hand and say, I quit. It's a volunteer army. They're not turning in a resignation. And even if it's an employee boss type of relationship, usually people quit months before they turn in the resignation. It's not a trigger. It's just like in a romantic relationship, because that is an activity, that is an intangible skill.
Comparing a multi-level marketing company to a romantic relationship, what in the false equivalence fallacy is happening here?
It's an art, not a science.
Oh my God. What in the word salad did we just watch? All of his trainings are like that. Every training that I have watched, that I have been a part of, that he has done, that I've seen in person, is always this kind of a flavor, kind of a word salad, talking in circles. And in my opinion, I think that he makes people question what they are doing. I do think that he is very cunning. I think that he knows exactly what he's doing. And again, that's just my opinion. But I definitely think that there needs to be more coverage. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Coverage of CEOs as well as the leaders, as well as the reps that are making the health claims and income claims, and especially CEOs that are putting out content like this. I think that it's very important. So, anyways, I know this was a little bit shorter of a video. I just wanted to react to this because it was all over the place, and the false equivalence fallacies, and it was a wild few minutes. So I'm glad that we got to spend it together. If you love today's video, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to turn the little bell notification on so that you don't miss anytime I'm going to go live, whether it's on my own or with JJ or somebody else. You get notified anytime I upload a video. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks for watching the entire video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.